2 Kings 14.
Second Kings 14. Start at 1.
Yep. All praises. All right. We'll go ahead and get straight into it. First and foremost, as always, we're going to start off by giving all praises, all honor, and all glory to the Most High God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob through his only begotten Son, Jesus the Christ.
Right.
Secondly, we're going to say shalom to all the brothers and the sisters out there. My name is Chief Priest Lithiyel.
And I'm Priest RamBen Israel.
And we are with the Holy Nation of Israel. And we're back again with another Sabbath class. So Shabbat Shalom. This class right here, we are going to call Amaziah's Army and Petra, a Forgotten History. So before we open up with the scriptures, I'm going to read something about Amaziah off of Wikipedia. It says, Amaziah of Judah, meaning the strength of the Lord, strengthened by Yahweh, or Yahweh is mighty, Greek, was the 9th king of Judah, the son and successor of Joash. His mother was Jehoiadan, and his son was Uzziah. He took the throne at the age of 25 after the assassination of his father and reigned for 29 years. So we're going to go over, I'm going to go stay in the Wikipedia. We're going to read under reign. And I'm going to read the second paragraph under reign. It says, Amaziah was the first to employ a mercenary army, 100,000 Israelite soldiers. So Amaziah was the first man in history to employ a mercenary army. And Amaziah employed a mercenary army of over 100,000 Israelites. Over 100,000 Israelites. I'm going to read it again. It says, Amaziah was the first to employ a mercenary army, 100,000 Israelite soldiers, who he engaged in an attempt to reconquer Edom, which had rebelled during the reign of Jehoram. So we're going to read about Amaziah. We're going to read about his mercenary army. And we're going to read about Petra. And we're going to go into a forgotten history. Let's start in 2 Kings chapter 14 and verse 1.
The book of 2 Kings, chapter 14, starting at verse 1.
Hey, read everything slowly, priest.
In the second year of Joash, son of Jehoahaz.
So in the second year of Joash, the son of Jehoahaz, read.
King of Israel.
He was the king of Israel, read.
Reigned Amaziah, the son of Joash, king of Judah.
So in the second year of Joash, the king of Israel, began Amaziah to reign over the kingdom of Judah. Go to chapter 13 and verse 10 real quick. Let's read about Jehoash.
Yes, sir.
Or Joash.
The book of 2 Kings, chapter 13 and verse 10. In the 37th year of Joash, king of Judah, began Jehoash, the son of Jehoahaz, to reign over Israel and Samaria, and reigned 16 years.
So in the 37th year of Joash, this Joash right here, king of Judah, is the father of Amaziah. In the 37th year of Joash, the king of Judah, began Jehoash. Jehoash, or Joash, is the shortened version of the name Jehoash. It says, began Jehoash, the son of Jehoahaz, to reign over Israel in Samaria, and reigned 16 years. I'm going to get a diction. I want to get a definition real quick. I want to get the definition of... Hey, give me Isaiah chapter 7 real quick. Yeah. Give me Isaiah chapter 7 real fast. What is Samaria? Let's go into that. What is Samaria? Isaiah 7 and 9, priest.
The book Isaiah chapter 7, starting at verse 9.
Read.
And the head of Ephraim is Samaria.
The head of Ephraim is Samaria. The capital city of Ephraim is Samaria. Read.
And the head of Samaria.
And the king over Samaria at this time, read.
Is
Remaliah's son. The king over Israel or over Ephraim at that time was Remaliah's son. Remaliah's son is a man named Petra. You can read about that in verse 1. Let's go back to the book of 2 Kings chapter 13. Let's read verse 10 one more time.
The book of 2 Kings chapter 13 and verse 10.
Because I'm going to take my time as I go over this class. I'm not going to rush or anything. Bring it out, priest.
In the 37th year of Joash, king of Judah.
Joash, the king of Judah, is the father of Amaziah. Keep reading.
Began Joash.
Jehoash is Joash. Joash is the shortened name of Jehoash. Keep reading.
Jehoash. And the son of Jehoash.
Yep, Jehoahaz. Reigned
over Israel and Samaria and reigned 16 years.
He reigned over Israel in Samaria. Samaria being the capital city of Israel, the capital city of Ephraim. He reigned over Israel in Samaria for 16 years. Go back to chapter 14, 2 Kings 14, and let's read verse 1 again.
The book of 2 Kings chapter 14 and verse 1.
Read.
In the second year of Joash, the son of
Jehoahaz.
In the second year of Joash, the son of Jehoash, Jehoahaz, king of Israel, reigned. Amaziah, the son of Joash, king of Judah.
Read.
He was 25 years old when he began to reign. And he reigned 29 years in Jerusalem.
Read.
And and his mother name was Jehoaddan of Jerusalem.
So his mother was a Jew. Keep reading.
And he did that which was right in the sight of the Lord.
He did that which was right in the sight of the Lord. Amaziah did that which was right in the sight of the Lord. Read.
Yet not like David.
But he was not like David. Hold that real quick. Let's see what it means that he was not like David. Get 2 Chronicles chapter 25 and verse 2. It said he did that which was right in the sight of the Lord, but he was not like David, his father. 2 Chronicles 25 and 2 real quick.
The book of 2 Chronicles chapter 25 verse 2.
Read.
And he did that which was right in the sight of the Lord.
This is still talking about Amaziah. He did that which was right in the sight of the Lord. Read.
But not with a perfect heart.
But he was not like David. He did not serve the Lord with a perfect heart in the way that his father David did. So he was not like David. Let's go back to 2 Kings 14 and let's read verse 3 again.
The book of 2 Kings chapter 14 and verse 3.
Read.
Verse 3. And he did that which was right in the sight of the Lord. Yet not like David his father.
Not like David his father. His heart was not perfect towards God like David his father. Read.
He did according to all things as Joash his father did.
Instead, Amaziah did according to all things that Joash his father did. Hold this real quick. Let's go to the book of 2 Kings chapter 12. 2 Kings chapter 12, and let's start in verse 1. Read it slow.
The book of 2 Kings chapter 12 and start at verse 1.
Remember, Amaziah did according to all things that his father Joash did. Keep reading.
In the 7th year of Jehu.
In the 7th year of Jehu. Jehu was a king over Israel. Matter of fact, let's prove that. Hold this. Get 2 Kings 10 and 36. Just to prove who Jehu is real fast.
The book of 2 Kings chapter 10 and verse 36. And the time that Jehu reigned over Israel in Samaria was 28 years.
So Jehu reigned over Israel from the capital city of Samaria 28 years. 28 years. Go back to chapter 12 and read verse 1 again.
12 and 1. Same book, chapter 12 and verse 1. In the 7th year of Jehu, Jehoash is Joash. Joash is the shortened name for Jehoash, or the shortened version of Jehoash. But let's prove that real quick. Get chapter 11, 2 Kings 11, and let's read verse 1. 2 Kings 11. When Athaliah, the mother of Ahaziah, saw that her son was dead, she arose and destroyed all the seed royal.
Ahaziah was the king over Judah. He reigned in Jerusalem. His mother, her name was Athaliah. His father's name was Jehoram. Let's read about them real quick. Go to chapter 8, 2 Kings chapter 8, and let's start at verse 16.
The book of 2 Kings, chapter 8 and verse 16.
Bring it up.
And in the 5th year of Joram, the son of Ahab, king of Israel,
Read.
Jehoshaphat being the king of Judah, and Jehoram, the son of Jehoshaphat, king of Judah, began to reign.
So Jehoram, the son of Jehoshaphat, the king of Judah, began to reign. Keep reading.
32 years old was he when he began to reign.
He was 32 years old when he ascended to his kingship, when he took the throne. Read.
And he reigned 8 years in Jerusalem.
And he reigned for 8 years in Jerusalem. Jerusalem is the capital city of Judah. You know how we keep reading about the kings reigning from Samaria, reigning from Jerusalem. This right here is where the Caucasian gets the idea of the president living in the White House in Washington, D.C. Our kings always reign from our capitals. Now you see the heathen doing the same. I just wanted to throw that in there real quick. Keep reading real quick.
Verse 18. And he walked in the way of the kings of Israel.
Hold on. Jehoram, a king of Judah, began to walk in the ways of the kings of Israel? The kings of Ephraim, the northern kingdom? Meaning he started following the practices and the customs of the northern kingdom. That's interesting, right? Keep reading. Read it again.
Verse 18. And he walked in the way of the kings of Israel, as he did the house of Ahab.
No, as did the house of Ahab.
Excuse me, Salaki. As did the house of Ahab.
Ahab was a king over Israel. Right. A wicked man. A wicked man. That was the husband to Jezebel. Ahab and Jezebel. Keep reading, priest.
For the daughters of Ahab.
Now, for the daughter of Ahab is Athaliah. Athaliah is the daughter of Ahab. Read that part again.
For the daughter of Ahab was his wife.
Athaliah was wife to Jehoram, or Joram. Joram's wife was Athaliah, the daughter of Ahab. Athaliah was from the northern kingdom. She was from Israel. She was from Ephraim. And she was a wicked woman. Keep reading.
And he did evil in the sight of the Lord.
And Jehoram, or Joram, did evil in the sight of the Lord. Now we're going to pause there real quick. I got 2 books, yo. We're going to be going into these books often in this class, yo. One is called the Bible Dictionary and Atlas. The other one is called the Bible Dictionary, William Smith. We're going to open up. We're going to go into the Bible Dictionary Atlas real quick first, and we're going to read about Jehoram. Remember, we just read that he did evil in the sight of the Lord. Let's see what type of evil Jehoram did in the sight of the Lord. So, this is from Bible Dictionary and Atlas. This is Jehoram, or Joram, son and successor of Jehoshaphat on throne of Judah, murderer and Baal worshiper, died a terrible death. So when it says he did evil in the sight of the Lord, this book right here tells you that Jehoram, or Joram, was a murderer and a Baal worshiper. He worshipped the damn devil. I'm going to read Jehoram, a definition of Jehoram or Joram, out of this Bible dictionary as well. This is William and Smith. And I'm going to read the definition of Joram out here to get a little bit more details on Joram. And this is going to page 283 here. Alright, got it. This is Jehoram, or Joram. It says, the eldest son of Jehoshaphat succeeded his father on the throne of Judah at the age of 32 and reigned 8 years. As soon as he was fixed on the throne, he put his 6 brothers to death with many of the chief nobles of the land. He then probably, at the instance of his wife Athaliah, the daughter of Ahab, proceeded to establish the worship of Baal. So this man Jehoram was a murderer, yo. Soon as he took the throne, he put his brothers to death. Hey, let's read the history on that. Give me 2 Chronicles 21. Let's read the history on Jehoram and his ascent into the kingship of Judah. And the evil that man did, yo. 2 Chronicles chapter 21. And we're going to start at verse 1. We're going to read down.
All right. The book of 2 Chronicles chapter 21, starting at verse 1.
Read.
Now Jehoshaphat slept with his fathers and was buried with his fathers in the city of David. And Jehoram, his son, reigned in his stead.
Read.
His steed. And he had brethren, the sons of Jehoshaphat.
So he had brothers. Jehoshaphat had more children. Can you read?
Azariah.
Azariah was one of his brothers.
Jehiel.
Yep, Jehiel.
And Zechariah. Azariah. And Michael. And Shephatiah. All these were the sons of Jehoshaphat, king of Israel.
All of these were the sons of Jehoshaphat, king of Israel. Keep reading.
And their father gave them great gifts of silver and of gold and of precious things with fenced cities in Judah.
So Jehoshaphat, before he died, he willed his inheritance to his children. He left them riches. He left them gold. He left them silver. He left them land. He left them precious things. He left them cities in which they can be princes over, be governors over. Keep reading.
But the kingdom gave he to Jehoram.
But the kingdom he gave to Jehoram. Keep reading.
Because he was the firstborn.
Because he was the firstborn. And since he's the firstborn, he's the rightful heir. So he was made king over Judah. Keep reading.
Verse 4. Now when Jehoram was risen up to the kingdom.
Now when Jehoram took the kingdom, when he took the throne of his father, keep reading.
Of his father. He strengthened himself.
He strengthened himself militarily, politically, and economically. He strengthened himself. Keep reading.
And slew all his brothers.
And did what?
Slew all his brothers.
And he killed all 6 of his brothers, yo. He killed Azariah. He killed Jehiel. He killed Zechariah. He killed Azariah. He killed Michael. He killed Shephatiah. He killed all 6 of his brothers, yo. Read.
Slew all his brothers with the sword. And diverse also of the princes of Israel.
And many of the princes of Judah and Benjamin, or many of the chief nobles of the land. That man killed his own brothers, and he killed many of the chief nobles of the land. I'm going to go back and read from this book again, Bible Dictionary, William Smith. I'm going to pick it up right here. It says, as soon as he was fixed on the throne, talking about Jehoram, he put his 6 brothers to death with many of the chief nobles of the land. Hey, give me 2 Kings 8. He then, probably at the instance of his wife Athaliah, the daughter of Ahab, proceeded to establish the worship of Baal, a prophetic writing from the aged prophet Elijah, failed to produce any good effect upon him. The remainder of his reign was a series of calamities. First, the Edomites, who had been tributary to Jehoshaphat, you mean the Caucasians who paid taxes to Jehoshaphat and to Judah and Jerusalem, it says, revolted from his dominion and established their permanent independence. So under Jehoram, the Edomites revolted and established their own permanent independence. That nation that used to be tributary and pay taxes to Judah revolted under Jehoram or Joram and established their own permanent independence. Let's read about that. Give me 2 Kings 8 and 20.
The book of 2 Kings chapter 8 and start at verse 20. In his days, Edom revolted under the hand of Judah and made a king over themselves.
In the days of Jehoram, or in the days of Joram, Edom revolted against Judah. Edom revolted against Judah and set up a king over themselves, made a king over themselves. They gained their permanent independence in the days of Jehoram, in the days of Joram. Was that it? Jump down to verse 24.
Verse 24. And Joram slept with his fathers and was buried with his fathers in the city of David. And Amaziah, his son, reigned in his stead.
Jump down to verse 26.
Verse 26. 22 years old, Amaziah, when he began to reign.
Read.
He reigned 1 year in Jerusalem.
He reigned for 1 year in Jerusalem. Read.
And his mother's name was Athaliah.
So Athaliah is the mother of Amaziah. Can you read?
The daughter of Omri, king of Israel.
The daughter of Omri, the king of Israel. She was the granddaughter of Omri, a king over Israel, another wicked king in Israel. She was the daughter to Ahab, granddaughter to Omri. Let's go back to 2 Kings chapter 11 and let's read verse 1 again.
You mean 14?
Nope. 2 Kings 11 and 1.
Alright. The book of 2 Kings chapter 11. You said 14?
No, verse 1.
Oh, Salaki. The book of 2 Kings chapter 11 is starting at 1.
Read.
And when Athaliah, the mother of Amaziah, saw that her son was dead, she arose and destroyed all the seed royal.
You can read about the death of Athaliah's son Amaziah in chapter 9. Yo, keep reading.
But Jehoshaphat,
Jehoshaphat the priest, keep reading.
the daughter
Oh no, not the priest. Jehoshaphat, keep reading.
Jehoshaphat, the daughter of King Joram, sister of Amaziah, took Joash.
Hey, read the annotation next to Joash.
Joash annotation is Jehoash.
So Joash is the shortened version of Jehoash. That's all I really went there for. Go back to 2 Kings chapter 12 and let's read verse 1 again.
2 Kings chapter 12, starting at verse 1. In the 7th year of Jehu.
Jehu was a king over Israel, right?
Jehoash.
Jehoash is Joash, the father of Amaziah. Keep reading.
Began to reign. 40 years reigned he in Jerusalem. And his mother. So I can read. And his mother's name was Zabiah of Beersheba.
God, read.
And Joash
And Jehoash or Joash, read.
did that which was right in the sight of the Lord.
He did that which was right in the sight of the Lord, read.
All his days were in Jehoiada, the priest, instructed
So
him.
all the days of Jehoiada, all the days that Jehoiada the priest instructed Jehoash or Joash, he did that which was right in the sight of the Lord. Keep reading.
But the high places were not taken away.
But he didn't take away the high places, read.
The people still sacrificed and burnt incense in the high places.
He didn't stop the people from sacrificing and burning incense in the high places. What are these high places? Hold this. Give me 1 Kings chapter 11. Give me 1 Kings chapter 11 and let's start at 6.
1 Kings chapter 11, starting at verse 6. And Solomon did evil in the sight of the Lord, and went not fully after the Lord, as did his father. Then did Solomon build an high place for Shamash, the abomination.
The abomination.
Abomination of Moab, and the hills that is before Jerusalem.
So one of the high places that was built in Jerusalem was a high place dedicated to a fake god, a god of Moab, a god of the Chinese, named Shamash. That's one of the high places that was built up by Solomon and that was not taken down by Joash. Can you read?
And the hill that is before Jerusalem, and for Molech.
He built another high place. Solomon built another high place for Molech. Can you read?
The abomination of the children of Ammon.
The fake god of the children of Ammon. He built another high place in Jerusalem for Molech, the abomination of the children of Ammon. And Joash did not pull that high place down either. Can you read?
And likewise did he for all his strange wives.
So for all of the strange wives of Solomon, there was built an high place in Jerusalem for their gods.
Some had thousands.
Yeah. So he built up a lot of high places. And guess what? Joash didn't pull these high places down, yo. Go back to the book of 2 Kings. Let's go to 14. 2 Kings chapter 14. And I want to read 1 again and I want to read on down.
Alright. In the book of 2 Kings chapter 14 and verse 1. In the 2nd year of Joash, the son of Jehoahaz, king of Israel, reigned Amaziah, the son of Joash, king of Judah. He was 25 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 29 years in Jerusalem. And his mother's name was Jehoaddan of Jerusalem.
She was a Jew. Can you read?
And he did that which was right in the sight of the Lord. Yet not like David his father.
His heart wasn't perfect towards God like David's heart was. Can you read?
He did according to all things as Joash his father did.
Instead, he did according to all things that his father Joash did. His father Joash, he didn't pull down those high places that Solomon set up for his strange wives. He didn't stop the people from burning incense and sacrificing to these false gods either. Keep reading.
His father did it. Howbeit the high places were not taken away.
The father didn't take them away. The son didn't take them away. And Joash didn't pull them down. And Amaziah didn't pull them down. Keep reading.
As yet the people did sacrifice and burn incense on the high places.
Joash didn't stop the people from sacrificing and burning incense in high places to these false gods. Amaziah didn't stop the people from sacrificing and burning incense in these high places to these false gods. As his father did, so did he. Keep reading, priest.
But the children of the murderers.
No, verse 5.
Verse 5. And it came to pass, as soon as the king was confirmed in his hand.
It came to pass that as soon as Amaziah took the kingdom, took the throne. Keep reading.
That he slew his servants, which had slain the kings his father.
That he killed or executed the servants that had assassinated the king, his father, Joash, or Jehoash. Hey, we're going to read about that too. But first, I'm going to go back to this book again. Told you we're going to go to this often. The Bible Dictionary and Atlas. And we're going to read about Joash. It says Joash, or Jehoash. It says, son of Amaziah, and his successor on throne of Judah, cruel and idolatrous, murdered by his servants. So Joash was cruel, he was idolatrous, and he was murdered by his servants. We're going to read it again. It says Joash, contracted or shortened from Jehoash, son of Amaziah, king of Judah. It says for at least 23 years while Jehoiada is the priest, for at least 23 years while Jehoiada lived, his reign was very prosperous. Remember earlier we read, Joash did right in the eyes of God all the days in which Jehoiada the priest instructed him. We read that earlier. This is saying the same exact thing. It says, but after the death of Jehoiada, Joash fell into the hands of bad advisors, or bad counsel, or bad consort, at whose suggestion he revived the worship of Baal and Ashtaroth. When he was rebuked for this by Zechariah, the son of Jehoiada, Joash caused him to be stoned to death in the very court of the Lord's house. Let's read about that history, yo. Let's read about that. Let's go to 2 Kings chapter 12 and verse 20. Let's read about the history. Let's read about the assassination of Joash. Read that real quick.
The book of 2 Kings chapter 12 and verse 20.
Who assassinated Joash? Read.
And his servants arose and made a conspiracy and slew Joash in the house of Maalot, which goeth down to Salah.
So the servants of Joash rose and conspired to kill him, yo. And they killed Joash in the house of Millo, which goeth down to Salah. Oh, you good. Matter of fact, I'm going to pick up. It says, for Josashar, the son of Shimeoth, and Jehozabad, the son of Shomer, his servant, smote him, and he died. And they buried him with his fathers in the city of David. And Amaziah, his son, reigned in his stead. So Josashar and Jehozabad are the two men that slew Joash, or Jehoash. It said Josashar, the son of Shimeoth, and Jehozabad, the son of Shomer. Now, in some Bibles, you're going to have an annotation next to Shomer. And it's going to say Shimrith. That's what it's going to say. Shimrith is Shomer. We're going to read it again. Let's go to 2 Chronicles 24. 2 Chronicles chapter 24. And let's read verse 26.
The book of 2 Chronicles chapter 24 and verse 26. And these are they that conspired against him. Zabad.
You got an annotation in your Bible, right?
Yeah, Zabad.
It's the number 1. Or it says, or Josashar.
Yep.
Josashar is the name that we read in 2 Kings 12 and 21. Over here in 2 Chronicles 24 and 26, Jehozashar is being referred to as Zabed. Read that again.
And these are they that conspired against him. Zabad, the son of Shemeth,
Shimeoth.
Shimeoth, and Amaitis.
And Ammonitis. So Zabed was the son of Shimeoth. Shimeoth was a woman of Ammon. She's an Ammonitis or a Japanese woman. Keep reading, priest.
And Jehozabad, the son of Shemrith, a Moabitess.
The son of Shemrith, a Moabitess. So Jehozabad's mother, Shemrith, was of Moab, a Chinese woman. In my Bible, next to Shemrith, I have an annotation in number 2. It says, or Shomer. Shomer is the name that we read in 2 Kings 12 and verse 21. Shemrith is Shomer, the Moabitess. Now, the question becomes, why did Zabad and Jozabad kill Joash? Why did they kill Joash? Let's stay in the same chapter. Let's jump up to verse 15.
The book of 2 Chronicles chapter 24 and verse 15. And Jehoiada, but Jehoiada waxed old.
Jehoiada is the priest. Keep reading.
Jehoiada waxed old and was full of days when he died. And 130 years old was he when he died.
He was full of days. He lived to be 130 years old. And then he died. Keep reading.
And they buried him in the city of David.
Read.
Among the kings.
Look how great Jehoiada was, yo. Jehoiada the priest was so great that they buried this man in the city of David amongst the kings of Judah, yo. That's how great Jehoiada was. Let's find out what made him so great. Keep reading.
Because he had done good in Israel.
Because he had done good in Israel. Read.
Both towards God.
Both toward the God of Israel. Read.
And towards his house.
And toward his house, meaning toward his people. He was a great man. He did great works toward God and towards his people, yo. He was such a great man that he was buried in the city of David amongst the kings. That is heavy, yo. I love that part. Keep reading, priest.
Now, after the death of Jehoiada, came the prince of Judah.
After the death of Jehoiada the priest, came the princes of Judah. The princes of Judah and Benjamin. Keep reading.
And made
obeisance.
Obeisant to the king.
They made obeisance. They started to reverence the king. They started to worship the king. They started to uplift, venerate, exalt the king. They made obeisance to that man, to Joash. Read.
Then the king hearkened it unto them.
Then the king listened unto them. And the princes of Judah and Benjamin, these princes became his advisors. These princes became his counselors, his consort. Keep reading.
And they left the house of the Lord God of their fathers.
They left the house of the Lord God of our fathers. They left the house of the Lord God of the father of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Keep reading.
And served groves and idols.
And began to serve groves and idols. You know what groves and idols they were serving? Baal, Ashtaroth, Molech, Chemosh, and all the other idols that Solomon built for his strange wives throughout the city. These are the idols that they were worshiping. These are the groves they were going to, making sacrifices, burning incense. Like we've been reading the whole time. Keep reading.
And wrath came upon Judah and Jerusalem for this their trespass.
And because of this, judgment came on Judah and Jerusalem from God. Keep reading.
19. Yet he sent prophets to them.
But the Lord sent prophets to Judah and Jerusalem, to the people of Judah and Benjamin. Read.
To bring them again unto the Lord.
To speak to them the word of repentance. To teach to them the word of repentance. Read.
And they testified against
them. And they testified against them. They cried aloud. They lifted up their voices like trumpets. They spared no one. They showed the house of Jacob their sins. They showed God's people their transgressions. Keep reading.
But they would not give ear.
But Negroes don't listen. They would not give ear, yo. They didn't pay attention. They didn't care. Keep reading.
And the Spirit of God came upon Zechariah, the son of Jehoiada, the priest.
Now you have another prophet, a great prophet, standing up. This man named Zechariah, the son of Jehoiada the priest. The son of that man that was so great, he was buried in the city of David amongst the kings. Read that part again, priest.
And the Spirit of God came upon Zechariah, the son of Jehoiada, the priest, which stood above the people.
Zechariah stood above the people, literally and figuratively. Read.
And it said unto them,
What did he say?
Thus saith God, why transgress ye the commandments of the Lord?
Why do you transgress the commandments of the Lord, yo? The commandment of the Lord says, thou shalt have no other gods before me.
Right.
Why do you have other gods? The commandment of the Lord says, thou shalt not make unto thee any graven images to bow down and worship.
Right.
Why are you bowing down, worshiping, and prostrating yourself before graven images? This is what Zechariah the prophet was asking. This is what he was saying to the people of Judah and Jerusalem. Keep reading, priest.
Because ye have forsaken the Lord.
Because you worship these idols, you have forsaken the Lord. Read.
He have also forsaken you.
Now he have also forsaken you. Read.
And they conspired against him.
You see what the wicked have done? You see what the princes of Judah and Jerusalem did? The princes of Judah and Benjamin did? They conspired against Zechariah, the son of Jehoiada, this prophet. Keep reading.
And stoned him with the stone.
And they stoned him with stones. Read.
Stones. At the commandment of the king.
At the commandment of King Joash, yo. Joash gave them the permission, the authority to stone Zechariah with stones, yo. Keep reading.
At the commandments of the king, in the court of the house of the Lord.
In the court of the house of the Lord. They stoned Zechariah the prophet to death in the court of the house of the Lord, in the court of the temple. They stoned this prophet on God's property, yo. Straight up, keep reading.
Verse 22. Thus Joash, the king, remembered not the kindness of Jehoiada, his father had done to him.
Joash did not remember the kindness that Jehoiada, the father of Zechariah, showed to him. That's how Negroes are, yo. And Negroes forget the good things that you do to them quickly, yo, in a heartbeat, in the blink of an eye. And that's exactly what it was with Joash. He did not remember the good that Jehoiada did for him throughout his entire life. Keep reading, priest.
But slew his son, and when he died, he said, the Lord looked upon it and required it.
But he slew Jehoiada's son, Zechariah. And as Zechariah was dying, Zechariah said, the Lord sees what's going on, yo. And the Lord's going to require it. There's going to be judgment for this. Nobody's going to be guiltless in this. Nobody's going to escape condemnation for this. That's what Zechariah was saying to him. Keep reading, priest.
And it came to pass at the end of the year that the host of Syria came up against him, and they came to Judah and Jerusalem, and destroyed all the princes of the people from among the people.
And destroyed all the princes of the people from among the people. So Syria came up and destroyed all the princes of the people. All them damn idolaters, and Baal and Ashtaroth worshippers. Keep reading.
And destroyed all the princes of the people from among the people. And sent all the spoil of them unto the king of Damascus.
And they sent all the spoils, all the gold, all the silver, all the resources of the land to the king of Damascus. Keep reading, priest.
For the army of the Syrians came with a small company.
Hey, the army of Syria came with a small army, yo. A small company of men. Keep reading.
And the Lord delivered a very great host into their hand.
And the Lord delivered a very great host into the hand of this Syrian army. You know who that great host was? That great host was an army of Judah and Benjamin. That great host, that army of Judah and Benjamin, was delivered into the hand of a small company of Syrians. That's judgment of God right there, yo. Keep reading.
And the Lord delivered a very great host into their hands.
Read.
Because they have forsaken the Lord God of their fathers.
Because they forsook the Lord God of their fathers. The Lord God of their fathers forsook them. Keep reading.
So they executed judgment against Joash.
God executed judgment against the princes of Judah and Jerusalem as a whole. And the people executed judgment against Joash, the king. Keep reading.
And when they were departed from him, for they left him in great disease.
Joash was sick. Keep reading.
His own servants.
His own servants. His own servants, Zabad and Jozabad. Read.
Conspired against him.
They conspired against Joash. Let's see why they conspired to put him to death. Read.
for the blood of the sons of Jehoiada, the priest.
They conspired to kill Joash because of the evil that he did to the sons of Jehoiada, the priest. Namely and specifically, the evil that they did to Zechariah when they stoned that man to death in the court of the Lord's house.
Right.
This is why Zabad and Jozabad conspired to kill Joash. Finish it out, priest.
And slew him on his bed, and he died, and they buried him in the city of David. But they buried him not in the sepulchres of the kings.
But they buried him not in the sepulchres of the kings. Let's go back to 2 Kings 14. Let's read 2 Kings chapter 14. Let's read verse 5.
The book of 2 Kings chapter 14, starting at verse 5.
Read.
And it came to pass as soon as the kingdom was confirmed in his hand.
As soon as the kingdom was confirmed in the hands of Amaziah, read.
That he slew his servants.
He executed Zabad and Jozabad, read.
Which had slain the king his father.
Because they assassinated his father Joash, the king. He killed the servants Zabad and Jozabad because they killed his father, the king. He read.
But the children of the murderers he slew not.
But he did not kill the children of Zabad. He did not kill the children of Jozabad. Keep reading.
According unto that which is written in the book of the law of Moses.
He kept that which was written in the book of the law of Moses. Keep reading.
Wherein the Lord commanded, saying.
Saying what?
The father shall not be put to death for the children, nor the children be put to death for the fathers.
Nor the children be put to death for the fathers. Read.
But every man shall be put to death for his own sin.
But every man shall die for his own sin. Let's read that law. We're going to come back to this. Let's just read it out of the law. Deuteronomy 24 and 16. Let's read this out of the law.
The book of Deuteronomy chapter 24 verse 16. The fathers shall not be put to death for the children, neither shall the children be put to death for the fathers. Every man shall be put to death for his own sin.
So Amaziah, he kept that law. Amaziah, he executed Zabad and Jozabad because they assassinated his father, the king. But he did not kill their children. He did not put their children to death. Because the law says every man shall die for his own sin. So anyway, after Amaziah rose to the throne, executed the servants that assassinated his father, what did Amaziah do? Let's go back to 2 Kings 14 and let's read verse 7.
The book of 2 Kings chapter 14 and verse 7.
Read.
He slew of Edom in the valley of Salt 10,000.
Amaziah went down to the valley of Salt. After he gained power, after he gained the throne, after he executed those two servants that assassinated his father, he went down into the valley of Salt to make war, yo. And he executed 10,000 men of the children of Edom. Read that part again.
Verse 7. He slew of Edom in the valley of Salt 10,000 and took Salah by war.
And he took Selah by war. You got an annotation in your Bible next to Selah, right?
Yeah, the rock.
Selah is the rock. But let's go to, I want y'all to remember that. Selah is the rock. But let's go to 2 Chronicles 25. And let's get more detail of Amaziah and his war with Edom in the Valley of Salt. Let's get more detail. Let's read, let's start in 25. Let's read 1. We're going to read down.
All right. The book of 2 Chronicles chapter 25, starting at verse 1. Amaziah was 25 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 29 years in Jerusalem. And his mother was named Jehoiada of Jerusalem.
A Jew.
And he did that which was right in the sight of the Lord, but not with a perfect heart. Now it came to pass, when the kingdom was established to him, that he slew his servants.
He slew the servants, Zabad and Jozabad, read.
That had killed the king, his father.
Who had assassinated his father, read.
But he slew not their children.
But he didn't kill their children, read.
But did as it is written in the law, in the book of Moses.
Uh-huh.
Where saying, the fathers shall not die for the children, neither shall the children die for the fathers, but every man should die for his own sin.
So we just read that. That law is in Deuteronomy chapter 24 and verse 16. Keep reading.
Moreover, Amaziah gathered Judah together and made them captains over thousands.
Read.
And captains over hundreds.
Read.
According to the houses of their fathers, throughout all Judah and Benjamin.
Read.
And he numbered them from 20 years old and above, and found them 300,000 choice men, able to go forth to war, that could handle spears and shields.
After Amaziah rose to the throne and executed his two servants, those servants that killed his father, that assassinated his father, he put together an army. Amaziah put together an army of men from Judah and Benjamin. 300,000 men Amaziah put together. Keep reading, priest.
He hired also 100,000 mighty men of valor out of Israel.
He hired also another 100,000 mighty men of valor out of Israel, 300,000 men of Judah and Benjamin, and another 100,000 of the children of Ephraim. And as we read down, you will see that when it says 100,000 of the children of Israel, it's talking about the children of Ephraim. Keep reading, priest. Oh, excuse, I gotta say this too. That 100,000 mighty men of valor, those were those mercenaries. These are the first mercenaries that you read about in history. Read it again.
Verse 6. He hired also 100,000 mighty men of valor out of Israel for 100 talents of silver.
He hired them for 100 talents of silver. Read.
But there came a man of God.
But there came a man of God. Read. To him saying, a man of God, a prophet came to Amaziah and said what?
Saying, O king, let not the army of Israel go with you.
The prophet came to Amaziah and said, do not bring this army that came out of Israel with you. I don't care if it's 100,000 men. Don't bring them with you. Keep reading.
For the Lord is not with Israel.
Because the Lord wasn't dealing with Israel. Read.
To wit.
To wit. The word wit means to know. K-N-O-W. Read.
With all the children of Ephraim.
With all the children of Ephraim. Israel is Ephraim. Ephraim is Israel. God was not dealing with them. The man of God, the prophet, came to Amaziah and told him, God is not dealing with them. Don't bring them with you. Keep reading.
But if thou wilt go.
But if you ain't going to listen to what I'm telling you to do, though, and you're going to go anyway, read.
Do it.
Go. Hey, yo, go, bro. Be tough. Be courageous. Flex. Go do it. Read.
Be strong for the battle.
And be strong for the battle out there. You and your whole army. Be strong. Read.
God shall make thee fall before the enemy.
But you need to know, God is going to make you fall before your enemy. I don't care how strong you are for the battle. I don't care how much you flex. I don't care how many men you hired. I don't care how big your army is. Just know if you go, God is going to make you fall before your enemy. Keep reading.
For God hath power to help.
God has power to help. Read.
And to cast
down. And God has power to cast down. Keep reading.
Verse 9. And Amaziah said to the man of God.
Amaziah looked at the prophet and said what?
But what shall we do for the 100 talents which I have given to the army of Israel?
I done paid these men. What am I supposed to do? I done paid these men. I done gave them 100 talents. Keep reading.
And the man of God answered.
And the prophet of God responded and said what?
The Lord is able to give thee much more than this.
This is little. It's pocket change. The Lord will give you way more than this. Don't worry about that. Keep reading.
Then Amaziah separated them.
Amaziah listened to the prophet. He acquiesced to what the prophet said, Joe. And Amaziah separated the army of Israel. The 100,000 men that came out of Ephraim, Amaziah separated them from his army. Read it again.
Then Amaziah separated them, to wit, the army that was come to him out of Ephraim.
Read. To
go home again. Wherefore their anger was greatly kindled.
He said he sent them home again. And because he sent them home, I want to say this. He didn't take the money back either. It don't say he took the money. He just sent them home. Let them keep the paper. But when he sent them home, they were pissed. They were mad. They were angry. Keep reading.
Kindled against Judah.
And they were angry with Judah and Benjamin. Read.
And they returned home in great anger.
And they returned home in great anger. You know how angry they were when they were returning home? Jump down to 13.
Verse 13. But the soldiers of the army, which Amaziah sent back.
The army that Amaziah sent back were those 100,000 mercenaries that came out of Israel, that came out of Ephraim. They were the ones that were separated and sent back home. Keep reading.
That they should not go with him to battle. Fell upon the city of Judah.
What did they do?
Fell upon the city of Judah.
This is why the prophet didn't want them to go, yo. Because God knew, no, those 100,000 men that came out of Ephraim, they hate you niggas. They hate you. I can see it in their heart. They have a deep-rooted hatred for you. They hate you so much that you're going to send them home with pay, and they're still going to fall on your cities on their way back. Keep reading.
From Samaria even unto Beth Horon.
Read.
And smote 3,000 of them.
They killed 3,000 men, women, and children. Keep reading.
And took much spoil.
Much spoil, much gold, much silver, much oil, much fine wood, much resources from the land. That's how mad that they were. And that's why the prophets say, don't bring them with you, yo. Them dudes right there, they hate their neighbor. They don't love their brother. There's no love for their brother in them. Let's go back up. Let's read verse 11 now.
Same chapter.
Come on. 2 Chronicles 25 and 11.
Verse 11. And Amaziah strengthened himself and led forth his people and went to the valley of Salt.
And Amaziah strengthened himself, led forth his people, and went down into the valley of Salt. Read.
And smote of the children of Seir.
And smote of the children of Seir. What?
Seir. 10,000.
And he killed of the children of Seir 10,000. Who are the children of Seir? Well, I'm pretty sure some people that's going to hear this, they're already going to know. That's making reference to Edom, yo. Esau, so-called white man, the Caucasian. Those are the children of Seir. But I'm going to read it in a couple other Bible translations real quick. I'm going to read 2 Chronicles 25:11 in the NIV. It says, Amaziah then marshaled his strength and led his army to the valley of Salt, where he killed 10,000 men of Seir. Let's read the NLT, the New Living Translation. Then Amaziah summoned his courage and led his army to the valley of Salt, where they killed 10,000 Edomite troops from Seir. The children of Seir are Edomites. The ESV, the English Standard Version. But Amaziah took courage and led out his people and went to the valley of Salt and struck down 10,000 men of Seir. Who is Seir? Esau is Seir. I'm going to go back to this book real quick. Once again, Bible Dictionary, William Smith. Once again. Because Caucasians, they be knowing what they be talking about sometimes. You just got to go through these Johns and just look at them, because they be putting in little bits of truth. You just got to read through it and be able to discern what's real and what's not real, yeah? Straight up. So, page 155. Page 155. This is under Edom or Idumea. It says, page 156. It says, Edom was called Mount Seir, and Idumea also. So, Seir and Edom, those names are synonymous one with another. Seir and Edom, those names are synonymous one with another. Go back to 2 Chronicles 25. Let's read verse 11 again. We're back in the KJV, people.
The book of 2 Chronicles, chapter 25 and verse 11.
Read.
And Amaziah strengthened himself.
Amaziah strengthened himself politically, economically, and militarily. Read.
Went to the valley of Salt. And smote of
to read it again.
And led forth his people.
And led forth his people. Amaziah strengthened himself and led forth his people. His people is making reference to that army of 300,000 men from Judah and Benjamin. Read.
And went to the valley of Salt. And smote of the children of Seir 10,000.
And killed 10,000 men of the children of Edom, of the children of Seir, of the Edomites. He killed 10,000 Edomites. Keep reading, priest.
Verse 12. And the other 10,000 left alive.
He left another 10,000 Edomites alive. Read.
Did the children of Judah carried away captive.
The children of Judah carried these other 10,000 Edomites away captive. Meaning they carried them away with chains on their necks, chains on their ankles, and chains on their wrists. That's how they were carried away. But keep reading.
And brought them unto the top of the rock.
And he did what?
And brought them unto the top of the rock.
They brought these Edomite captives unto the top of the rock and what?
And cast them down from the top of the rock.
And did what?
Cast them down from the top of the rock.
And threw them down and threw them off the top of the rock. Keep reading.
That they all were broken in pieces.
That they all may be broken in pieces. What is the rock? What is the rock? We might have forgotten, but it's all good. Go back to 2 Kings 14:7. What is the rock? Remember he said he took another 10,000 captive Edomites to the top of the rock and threw them off the top of the rock. What is the rock? 2 Kings 14:7.
The book of 2 Kings chapter 14 and verse 7.
Read.
He slew of Edom in the valley of Salt 10,000. And took Salah.
And took what?
Salah. By war.
And took Salah by war. Read.
And called the name of it Lithiyel.
Yeah, Lithiyel. He took Selah by war and called the name of it Lithiyel unto this day. What is read the annotation next to Selah?
Annotation of Selah, the rock.
The what?
The rock.
Selah is the rock. Selah is the rock. Hey, let's see what Selah is, yo, because Caucasians love to hide things, yo. That's why the Bible says, blessed is he that readeth, man. Pick up a book and read. That's my advice to brothers. Pick up books and read, yo. Straight up. This is from the Bible Dictionary and Atlas. This is the definition of Selah. Selah is spelled two ways in the Bible. It's spelled S-E-L-A and S-E-L-A-H. Here in 2 Kings 14:7, it is spelled S-E-L-A-H. But anyway, let's read the definition. It says, a rock-founded city of Edom, the Petra of the Greeks. Selah is Petra. But let's get some more information just to prove it. You can never go to one source.
That's ain't dope right there.
Bring it up, preach. You got something to say? Add to it.
When you look up Mount Sierra, they tell you in the picture this is Petra. In the annotation, the captions. So these bees, these animals, these caterpillars, they know.
Bring it up.
They know.
I'm gonna read it again. This is in the Bible Dictionary, William Smith,
Mount Petra,
page 602. Selah or Selah. Matter of fact, it's spelled two ways. Give me hold that. Give me Isaiah 16. It's spelled S-E-L-A or S-E-L-A-H. In 2 Kings 14:7, it's S-E-L-A-H. We're going to read it in Isaiah 16 too. But let me read this definition first. Selah. It says, the city later known as Petra. Selah is Petra. Give me Isaiah 16:1, please.
The book Isaiah chapter 16, starting at verse 1. Send ye the lamb to the ruler of the land from Selah.
Send ye the lamb from the ruler to the land of Selah. Spell Selah.
S-E-L-A.
Read the annotation next to Selah.
Annotation next to Selah. A rock.
That's all you got?
Or a nest forsaken.
What? That's all you got in yours?
Yeah, this one. Oh, Petra, my bad.
Oh, there we go. There we go. There we go. Read that again.
My bad. You want me to read?
No. Read the annotation for Selah one more time.
Selah, annotation for Selah are Petra.
Petra. Selah, S-E-L-A is Petra.
Hebrew, a rock.
The rock. Now let's read. I can read it one more time. So
Or
this is from BibleHub.com. This is 2 Kings 14:7. He slew of Edom in the valley of Salt 10,000 and took Selah, S-E-L-A, by war and called the name of it Lithiyel to this day. Let's get the definition of Selah. It says Selah, the crag, the Hebrew name of the famous rock-hewn town of Petra. Selah is Petra, also known as the rock. Petra, Selah, the rock.
Mount Sierra.
Located in Mount Sierra. Go back to 2 Chronicles.
So that's like their
25
capital.
and 11 again, huh?
That was like their
It
capital.
was their stronghold, yeah. Because the capital at first, the capital was Basra. That was their capital, you know what I'm saying? But during the time of Amaziah,
They rose up the
Petra.
king.
Yeah, Petra was their stronghold.
Because they rose up the king. The king stayed in it. Gotcha. That's why you mentioned kind of like how the Edomites do today with the capitals. They reign from the capital. It was always like that.
They always capitals. Always.
That's hard. I like how you correlate that. Okay.
Bring that out. 2 Chronicles 25 and 11.
The book of 2 Chronicles, chapter 25 and verse 11.
Read.
And Amaziah strengthened himself.
Amaziah strengthened himself militarily, economically, politically. Read.
And led forth his people, and went to the valley of Salt.
He led forth his people, his army, an army of 300,000 men. And he went down into the valley of Salt to make war. Read.
And went to the valley of Salt, and smote of the children of Seir 10,000.
He killed 10,000 men of the children of Seir. 10,000 Edomite men were killed in the valley of Salt. Read.
And the other 10,000 left alive.
And there was another 10,000 that was left alive. Read.
Did the children of Judah carry away captive?
We carried them away captive. Chains on their neck, wrists, and ankles. Walking like you're wobbling. Read.
Carried away captive and brought them up unto the top of the rock.
They brought them up to the top of the rock. What is the rock? The rock is Petra. The rock is Selah. They walked them up to the top of the rock. They walked them up to the top of Petra. They walked them up to the top of Selah.
They made them an example.
Keep reading. Watch this. I love this part.
They made them an example. And cast them down from the top of the rock.
They walked them up to the top of to the top of Petra and threw their asses off the top of Petra. That's what they were doing.
So that's like going up to the Empire, the Empire State Tower,
Empire State Sears Tower or something.
Yeah, and throwing Edom off.
Yoink, yoink.
They hit the ground, breaking pieces. Man, no. And so they in the experience of all those people that commit suicide, jump off buildings. Might have been the ones that Amaziah was throwing off of Mount Salah back in the day.
Bring it out. Salah is Petra. Petra is Salah. Salah is also known as the Rock. Petra is known as the Rock. Amaziah's army took 10,000 captive Edomites to the top of the rock, to the top of Petra, to the top of Selah, and threw them off. Read it again, priest. Verse 12.
And the other 10,000 left alive did the children of Judah carry away captive, and brought them to the top of the rock, and cast them down from the top of the rock, that they all were broken in pieces.
And cast them down from the top of the rock, that they were all broken in pieces. So why did Amaziah go into the valley of Salt to make war with Edom? Why did he go into the valley of Salt and kill 10,000 Edomites? I want to read something real quick. This is once again from the Bible Dictionary. William Smith. I'm on page 34. This is under Amaziah. It says, in order, I'm going to read, let me read it from the beginning. Amaziah, son of Joash, and 8th king of Judah. He succeeded to the throne at the age of 25 on the murder of his father, and punished the murderers. In order to restore his kingdom to the greatness of Jehoshaphat's days, he made war on the Edomites, defeated them in the valley of Salt, south of the Dead Sea, and took their capital, Salah, or Petra, to which he gave the name Joktiel, which means God subdued. So Amaziah made war with Edom because he wanted to restore the kingdom of Judah, or the kingdom of Jerusalem, to its proper place. And he wanted Edom back in their proper place. You know what the proper place for an Edomite is? A tributary. The proper place for an Edomite is servant or service. And that's exactly what Amaziah wanted to do, yo. Let's go to 2 Kings chapter 14 real quick. So after Amaziah and his army reconquered Edom and Salah and Petra in the valley of Salt, what happened? 2 Kings 14 and 8.
The book of 2 Kings chapter 14 and verse 8.
Bring it out.
Then Amaziah sent messengers to Joash, the son of Jehoahaz, the son of Jehu, king of Israel, saying, come, let us look one another in the face.
He said, come, let us look one another in the face. To look one another in the face is to make war, yo. To look one another in the face is to make war. So after Amaziah conquered Edom in the valley of Salt, after he conquered Petra, he came back to make war with Jehoash. Jehoash is Joash. And he said, let us go ahead and meet face to face. Hey, read it one more time. I'm trying to find something.
All right. Verse 8. Then Amaziah sent messengers to Joash, the son of Jehoahaz, son of Jehu, king of Israel, saying, Come, let us look one another in the face.
He said, come, let us look one another in the face. And I'm going to read 2 Kings. I'm going to read 2 Kings chapter 14 again. And this is going to be from the NLT, the New Living Translation. 2 Kings 14 and 8. One day Amaziah sent messengers with his challenge to Israel's king Joash, the son of Jehoahaz, the grandson of Jehu. Come and meet me in battle. So to meet each other face to face is to meet one another in battle. Let's keep reading real quick.
Verse 9. And Joash, the king of Israel, sent Amaziah, king of Judah, saying, The thistle that was in Lebanon sent to the cedar that was in Lebanon, saying, Give thy daughter to my son to wife. And there passed by a wild beast that was in Lebanon, and trod down the thistle. Read. Thou hast indeed smitten Edom, and thy heart has lifted up. And thy heart has lifted thee up.
The king Jehoash, he said, yo, you did beat Edom, yo. And your heart's lifted up. You're proud. You're full of pride, man. I hear it in your voice, yo. I can feel it through your message. You're proud, yo. I understand that. Keep reading.
Thou hast indeed smitten Edom, and thine heart hath lifted thee up. Glory of this.
Man, celebrate this, man. Enjoy yourself. Hey, yo, enjoy yourself. Revel in your victory. This is what Jehoash is telling Amaziah. Revel in your victory, yo. Read.
Glory of this. And tarry at home.
Hey, stay at home. Stay at home. Stay at home and revel in this. Stay at home and celebrate your victory. Keep reading.
For why shouldst thou meddle to thy hurt?
Why you gonna mess with me and get hurt? Why you gonna mess with me and get hurt, son? Keep reading.
That thou shouldst fall, even though.
Even thou and what?
Even though in Judah.
Even thou and Judah with you. Why you gonna mess with me, get hurt, you gonna fall, Judah gonna fall with you. It's best for you just to stay at home, revel in your victory, enjoy yourself. That's what Jehoash is telling Amaziah. Keep reading.
But Amaziah would not hear.
Amaziah ain't hear nothing. Amaziah said, I don't know what you talking about. Read.
He said, I want to see you.
Facts. That's exactly what he said. I want to see you. Read.
Therefore, Jehoash, king of Israel, went up.
Read.
And he and Amaziah, king of Judah, looked one another in the face at
Beth-Shemesh,
which belongeth to Judah.
So Judah and Israel, Amaziah and Jehoash made war or made battle in Beth-Shemesh. Beth-Shemesh is a town outside of Jerusalem. Keep reading.
And Judah was put.
Beth-Shemesh is a town outside of Jerusalem's district, Israel's Jerusalem district. Keep reading.
Which belongs to Judah.
Which belongs to Judah. Read.
And verse 12. And Judah was put to the worst before Israel.
Judah got put to the worst before Israel. Damn, I'm a Judite too. But hey, we got to read the history. Judah was put to the worst before Israel. Read.
And they fled every man to their tent.
Everybody dipped. Everybody fled to their own tents. Read.
And Joash, king of Israel, took Amaziah, king of Judah, the son of Jehoash, the son of Ahaziah,
read,
at Beth-Shemesh.
So Jehoash got the victory at Beth-Shemesh. He got the victory over Amaziah in Judah and Jerusalem at Beth-Shemesh. Read.
And came to Jerusalem and break down the walls of Jerusalem from the gate of Ephraim unto the corner gate, 400 cubits.
Read.
And he took all the gold and silver and all the vessels that were found in the house of the Lord and in the treasure of the king's house and hostage and returned to Samaria.
He took riches. He took hostages. He took gold. He took silver. He took vessels. He took everything.
He did his thing.
He definitely did his thing out there.
He told him.
Hey, bring it out. Go ahead, bring it out.
He told him anyway. He warned him. He said, man, enjoy your victory. Man, you know, eat them with light work. You know what I mean? That was light work. You coming against us.
Facts. That's exactly what it is. That is exactly what it is. That's the end of verse 14.
Yep, we on 15.
No, I'm good. So why did Amaziah make war with Jehoash, the king in Israel? And why was his army defeated? Let's find out. Before we go back into the Bible, we're going to read from Bible Study Tools. This is 2 Kings chapter 14, but we're going to jump down to verse 8. It says, Amaziah sent messengers to Jehoash, the son of Jehoahaz, son of Jehu, king of Israel. This bold and haughty challenge, which was most probably stimulated by a desire of satisfaction for the outrages perpetrated by the discharged auxiliaries of Israel. So Amaziah, he wanted war. He wanted revenge for what those 100,000 men of Ephraim did to the cities of Judah as they were going back home. Remember what we read earlier? How they were so mad they fell on the cities and smoked 3,000 people of Judah? Amaziah was coming back for revenge for that, yo. He was coming back for revenge for that. It says on the towns. Let me read that part again. It says, this bold and haughty challenge, which was most probably stimulated by a desire of satisfaction for the outrages perpetrated sloppy, I don't know why I'm messing up, by the discharged auxiliaries of Israel on the towns that lay in their way home, as well as revenge for the massacre of his ancestors by Jehu. So Amaziah wanted revenge on those 100,000 men of Ephraim that fell on the cities of Judah as they were making their way home. That's why he came back and wanted war with Jehoash, the king of Judah. We're going to go to 2 Chronicles 25 real quick. Let's go to 2 Chronicles 25. And we're going to pick up in verse 14. Matter of fact, hold on one second. Yep, 25 and 14. We almost done.
Oh, y'all enjoying the lesson?
Yeah, Lord's will, man. Lord's will.
You said 2 Chronicles 25 and 15?
14.
14. So
yeah, we're going to read on down.
All right. The book, 2 Chronicles, chapter 25 and verse 14.
Bring it out.
Now it came to pass after that Amaziah was from the slaughter of the Edomites.
After he had come from the slaughter of the Edomites in the valley of Salt. Read.
That he brought the gods of the children of Seir.
This right here, this is enough to piss you off right here. This man came back from slaughtering the Edomites in the valley of Salt and in Salah, in Petra. This Negro takes their fake gods. He comes back with their fake gods. That's like a Negro conquering America and coming back home and saying, white man Jesus.
Put him on a mountain.
Yo, it's the same exact thing, bro. Same exact thing. Hey, read that part again. It just that part just hits me. It stands out to me every time, yo.
Now it came to pass after that Amaziah was come from the slaughter of the Edomites. He brought the gods of the children of Seir. And you know what's so funny? You know, usually we go and burn shit down. Their gods, everything. But like you said, the Bible says.
Not Amaziah. Amaziah said, I'm bringing them with me, goddamn. He said, I'm bringing all these with me. Read.
That he brought the gods of the children of Seir and set them up to be his gods.
Damn, read.
And bowed down himself before them and burnt incense unto them.
Like his father Joash did, so did he, yo. That's why earlier in the lesson we read he did all things according to as his father Joash did. Joash, a damn idolater. The son, a damn idolater, yo. Keep reading, yo.
Wherefore the anger of the Lord was kindled against Amaziah. And he sent unto him a prophet.
Read.
Which said unto him, Why hast thou sought after the gods of the people, which could not deliver their own people out of thy hand?
Why the hell are you going to worship the gods of the people that couldn't deliver their own people out of your hands?
Facts.
That's dumb as hell, yo.
That's the Negro mind.
That is a Negro. You cannot tell me Amaziah is not a black man, yo. You cannot tell me he's not a black man. That's Negro. That's Negro to the fullest, bro. I'm gonna go conquer a people and I'm gonna worship their gods.
I'm gonna get rid of them.
I'm gonna get rid of them, take their gods, and worship them. If I was around Amaziah, I would like to ask, like, yo, hold on. If the gods of the people couldn't deliver the people that they love, why would they deliver you? I'm trying to figure this out. You gotta
understand, you gotta serve a better God than their gods.
Man, this has to be a mental condition, yo. You know what? This is another word of advice. This is outside of the Bible. I gotta say this. Y'all make sure y'all go get y'all mental health check. There's a lot of problems out here with a lot of Israelites. We worship crosses, trees, and shit. Oh, I'm cussing. We worship trees, rocks. Those are stars. The stars, the sun. Remember when we was on the street? Shorty was like, the sun is my God. Hey, get a mental health check, man. If you really love your people, man, if you love your people, man, check them out mentally, bro. We have a lot of problems. And some people, it's 400 years of problems. I'm reading about Amaziah. This is like 3,000 years of
thousands of years, you know what I mean?
You know what I mean?
Stories written up 4 times, written before I learned it.
Yeah, right.
This history.
Right. Bring it out again.
So much history, the white man remember this.
Yeah, right. Side notes like a mug. You know what I mean? Y'all can fast forward to, never mind, I don't know how long we've been talking.
Hey, that's like, verse 15. Wherefore the anger of the Lord was kindled against Amaziah, and he sent unto him a prophet, which said unto him, Why hast thou sought after the gods of the people, which could not deliver thy own people out of thy hand?
Read.
And it came to pass, as he talked with him, that the king said unto him, Art thou made of the king's counsel?
As the prophet was talking to Amaziah, Amaziah said, Yo, who made you a part of my counsel, yo?
Why you here?
Why
you here?
Who made you a part of my counsel? Who told you can give me advice? That's what Amaziah is saying.
Yeah, he a Negro.
Yeah, he went all the way off, bro.
Yeah, he snapped.
He went all the way off. Read that part again.
He was mad, too.
He was.
He recognized what he said.
He was mad, yo. He was mad. Keep reading. Where we at? What verse we at?
16.
God.
And it came to pass, as he talked with him, that the king said unto him, Art thou made of the king counsel?
Read.
Forbear.
Yeah, stop talking, boy.
Why should thou be smitten?
Why you want to get hurt? Keep reading.
Then the prophet forbear.
The prophet stopped talking. But he said one more thing. Let's see what he said.
It said, that's how you know he a Negro.
I know. Negroes, we gotta say, well, I'm gonna stop talking after I say this one more thing, though. You know?
Then I'm gonna go.
Then I'm going. Let's see what this prophet said right here, yo.
Can you just imagine no black man just talking black man? Yo, we saw that in the street though. We see that street every day, bro. We're like, hold on, I ain't gonna say nothing after just one word though. Oh, we good.
I have this all the time, man. I'm glad you pointed that out. You can't tell me that this you cannot. That's why we're reading about Judah here. Judah and Benjamin, yo. Straight up, straight like that, yo. Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. Man.
And you know what's so crazy? That was amongst the leaders. So just imagine amongst the people. We were probably wicked more wicked than
probably.
We
you already know what it is.
Look, they had their problems. We had our problems.
No, it got there in the northern kingdoms. God had already forsaken them, so they were 10 times ahead of things. They were always ready for the turn up.
Damn right. Hey, you know who he turned up with? Dan. Dan was ready to lead.
Bring it out. Let's finish this out. We're almost done. Let's finish this out.
This is just a good lesson, bro.
All praises to the Most High.
Good history lesson. I like this. And it came to pass, as he talked with him, that the king said unto him, Art thou made of the king counsel? Forbear. Why should thou be smitten?
Damn.
Then the prophet forbear. It said, I know that God has determined.
I know God has determined to destroy you now.
I'm trying to pull my script.
No, I know what you said. Hey, look, that's what he said. He said, I know God is determined to kill you now. Just by the way you talking, yo. God is determined to destroy you, bro.
He told me how it was. He told me how it was. I know that God has determined to destroy you.
Oh, yeah, he ain't spared no feelings. No feelings.
Because thou hast done this. And has not hearkened unto my counsel.
God's going to destroy you because you worship idols and you won't hearken to my counsel. You won't listen. Keep reading.
Then Amaziah, king of Judah, took advice and sent to Joash, the son of Joabaz, the son of Jehu, king of Israel, saying, Come, let us see one another in the face.
Let's go make war. Let's make battle. Read.
And Joash, king of Israel, sent to Amaziah, king of Judah, saying, The thistle that was in Nebulon sent to the cedar that was in Nebulon, saying, Give thy daughter to my son to wife. And there passed by a wild beast that was in Nebulon, and trode down the thistle.
Read.
Thou sayest, Lo, thou hast smitten the Edomites.
You smitten the Edomites in the valley of Salt. Read.
And thy heart lifted thee up.
And you proud, boy.
To boast.
You're boasting, Reed.
Abide now at home.
Stay at home, boy.
Why should thou meddle in thy hurt?
Don't get hurt.
That thou should have fall.
You gonna fall. You?
Even thou in Judah.
You gonna fall, and Judah what?
With thee.
And Judah gonna fall right along with you. Keep reading.
But Amaziah would not hear.
Amaziah wasn't listening to nothing. Why?
For it came of God.
God hardened his heart. God hardened his heart. Why? Because of his sacrilege and his idolatry. And he wouldn't even hearken to counsel. So God hardened his heart. It was meant for him to go out and make war with the king over Israel and get spanked in Beth Shemesh. It was meant for it to happen. Let's jump down because we're gonna close it out. Let's jump down to 26.
Verse 26.
We're gonna read through 28 and we done.
Now the rest of the acts of Amaziah, first and last, behold, are they not written in the book of the kings of Judah of Israel? Now after the time that Amaziah did turn away from following the Lord, they made a conspiracy against him in Jerusalem, and he fled to Lachish. But they sent to Lachish after him and slew him there.
Amaziah was assassinated just like his father was. His father was assassinated in Millo. He was assassinated in Lachish. Keep reading.
And they brought him upon the horses and buried him with his fathers in the city of Judah.
And they buried Amaziah in the city of Judah with his fathers. Lord's will, that was edifying to somebody out there, man. All praises to the Most High. It's been a beautiful Sabbath day. All praises to the Most High. You got something you want to say, priest?
Man, everybody be safe out here, you know. Shoot.
Well, I got one more thing to say, a couple more things to say. First, I'm going to end this out by the same way we started it, by giving all praises to the Most High God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
Facts.
Through his only begotten Son, Jesus the Christ.
Right.
Secondly, I want to say shalom to all my brothers and sisters out there. You can catch us on Straitgateofisrael on YouTube.
That's right.
Like, comment, share the video if you're interested. And with that, we're going to say shalom, Israel.
Shalom.